Welcome to the Net Front Presence. I'm Jeff Gordon, the Post-Dispatch, joined by our beat reporter, Matthew DeFranks. This is the happy offensive explosion version of the Net Front. Our heroes have broken out for 37 goals in 8 games. It hasn't always been pretty, Matthew, but more entertaining anyway. Still a lot of work to do, but at least on the offensive side, Jim Montgomery has to be pleased.
Yeah, they beat the Ducks last night 6-2. It was the 5th straight game that they scored at least 4 goals, which is the longest streak in about 2 years for the franchise. And in those last 8 games that you mentioned, averaging I think it's 4.625 goals a game, most in the NHL, which is quite a change from the previous 8 games before that, when they averaged 2 goals, which was the worst in the NHL. So quite a flip for them to go from the worst offense in the league for an 8-game stretch, including 5 games where they scored 1 goal, and to come out like they're playing right now. It seems like they're putting up 4 every night, and 3 out of the last 5 nights has resulted in wins. Obviously, the games in Columbus and Minnesota didn't go their way, but the fact that the underlying metrics show that they've improved the defense under Jim Montgomery, and now here comes the offense coming the way. So it's been a good stretch for the Blues to see their complete game round into form a little bit more. It's just got to be more consistent, and Jim Montgomery and the Blues know that.
Now, what jumps out at you, a couple things. One, they've got 2 scoring lines, which has been the goal since the start of the season. The attempt earlier in the season was to make Pavel Buchnevich a center and see if that could balance things up. Now, between Dylan Holloway's emergence, Jordan Kyrou driving play, Buchnevich happily relocated to the wing, you've got 2 good groups clicking, plus really an offensively skilled blue line that stepped up with more production as well.
Yeah, that's a good point. That Holloway, Shen, Kyrou line has been really good for them. Just looking at it right now, they've outscored teams. The Blues have outscored teams 10-5 with that line on the ice, and they've done it by controlling about 57%, or excuse me, 61% of the shots on goal, a decent amount of the expected goals. Like, they've been a line that controls the puck, that pushes pace, that gets both the underlying results and the actual results in the net. So they have provided what the Blues were kind of looking for at the very start of the season, right? Like, that was a reason why they had Pavel Buchnevich at center, because they didn't have a consistent second line that they could really rely on, and they've provided that now. I mean, last night Holloway gets a goal, Kyrou gets a goal, Shen has 2 assists. Like, they're putting up the numbers that you would expect from a second line in this NHL to do. So they've shown up, and that's been a huge help. And as you mentioned, I think I kind of overlooked the impact of the offensive defenseman on this whole thing, and how much that their scoring has impacted the bottom line. I mean, going back to I think probably the game or 2 before the Winter Classic, when Fowler scores against Nashville. They have the Winter Classic where Fowler has 2, Falk has 1. Parayko has that bomb in Columbus the other night. Like, they were getting a lot of goals from the back end, and that's added a little bit more depth scoring than just have 1 or 2 scoring lines.